You're listening to In the Room podcast with Rima and Rachel.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of In the Room with Rima and Rachel. I am Rima Scheidler.
I'm Rachel Strutt.
So the other day, I was thinking about, what we were going to be talking about this week. And so I have lost both my mom and my dad for you guys out there that don't know anything about me, but you'll learn a lot today. So I lost my dad 27 years ago. And I lost my mom 6 months ago, about 6 to 8 months ago. And my mom was well into her mid-90s, lived a very strong, long life, but had dementia, kind of bed-bound mostly, room-bound definitely for the last, 5 or 6 years of her life, and lived with me and my husband for 10 years. So a lot of my life, losing my dad at a young age made me very sad. But I still had my mom. And so there was still so much for me. I was grieving because I lost my dad and feeling like, there's daddy's little girl, only child, missing that. But still had so much responsibility left for making sure that my mom could navigate the rest of her life. She was 20 years younger than my dad. So my dad passed when my mom was in her late 60s.
I don't think I realized
Yeah.
there was that much of an age gap
Big
there.
difference. So she was in her
Yeah.
late 60s and she still had plenty of life to live. I mean, if you think about it, almost 30 more years she lived. So getting her, comfortable past her grieving and making sure she had purpose and all of that, but not really understanding everything she was going through with the whole purpose thing. So the other day we're out, and my life, as you know, Rachel, has been, caregivers, but, they have to leave by 9:00 at night to go home. And so our whole life was always scheduled around, can I get a caregiver? What time does the caregiver have to leave? If we were going to a party or a movie or dinner with friends, everything had to be structured around when I needed to be home to take care of my mom. And so my whole life was structured around what she needed and caregiving. And so we're out the other night, and it's still 8 months later looking at my clock or my watch or my Apple Watch and just watching the time. And I mean, I've been out and about now for the last 8 months doing just fine. But the other day we were out and I kind of looked and it was 8:45, which is normally the time I would give my husband a little like, hey, we got to go. I got to get back. The caregivers need to be released. And so everything inside of me just kind of welled up because I panicked because I thought we're never going to make it back in time. I'm going to have to call them. And then I realized I don't have any place that I have to be. And as wonderful as that is to be able to sit in a space with friends and talk until 11 or 12 or 1 or how be out doing whatever, there was this like, oh, but I don't have to be. Nobody needs me. Like I don't have to be somewhere. And so I found that navigating through the loss of the last parent kind of has taken away my needing to be needed, because kids are all grown up. They need us differently, and they'll always need us as parents, but not to raise them, not to feed them, not to care for them.
Right.
And so navigating this has been kind of weird because the minute my mom is gone, all of a sudden I'm like in that place. I mean,
Rima, let me just back up for a second, because I think this is a topic that a lot of people deal with when you are in a situation and you are the caregiver of someone for a significant period of time, and that person passes away, like you said, as great as that was to know that you didn't have to be home
Yeah.
right away,
Yeah.
there's also kind of this resurgence of loss, but I think also in that freedom of not having to be home right away, there can also, in that enjoyment of that freedom of not being home, having to be home right away, there can also be a lot
Yeah.
of guilt that comes along with that. And I know that this isn't quite where we wanted this to go, but I think it's very it's a necessary topic that needs to be talked about, because I
Mm.
feel that you have that caregiver syndrome where all of a
Yeah.
sudden they're gone, and there's so much relief in the fact that you don't have that round the clock worry and everything, but then there's the guilt associated
Yeah.
in feeling
Relief
the
for a
relief.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you speak into that a little bit?
Yeah. I think the guilt, I don't know if guilt's the perfect word, but there's just a sense of like, um, well, the not being needed and the non purpose. Um, I didn't realize how much of me became a caregiver. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I would see other people that said they had to take care of their parents, and I think I just kind of sloughed it all aside. Like the amount of work that I did just became my norm. And then when they're gone, of course, there's some guilt in not in could I have kept her alive longer? Like that's not that I can't
Right.
do. That's when God wants her, he takes her. That's not my responsibility and I don't put that on myself. But I did go back and start to wonder, did I do enough? Which is crazy
Mm.
because I did
Yeah, you did
everything.
so
And
much. Right.
everybody keeps telling
Everything,
me how
really.
much I did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually said to me afterward, when I started to express months later, like, trying to find my purpose. But a lot of people said, we have to honestly tell you, we were really worried about when your mom was going to pass and if you were going to be okay. And I kept thinking to myself, well, why wouldn't I be okay? But now I'm realizing because the grief and the guilt, all of that doesn't surface a month later. It comes out like way later after the process has
Right.
after you've kind of started to live your life. And then I start thinking, gosh, I almost feel guilty like living my life sometimes. Like,
Well, that's
should I
what
be
that's
happy?
kind of
Is that
what
what you're
I'm
trying to get at? Okay.
right. That's kind of what I'm getting at. The relief that comes from not having
Yeah.
to care for someone 24/7 anymore, and then
Yeah.
feeling kind of guilt over the fact that you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
You
I'm
feel
so glad
relief.
I don't have to do that
Totally.
anymore." And like you
Totally.
just feel like, "Oh, should I feel worse?" But like, oh, there's kind of this
Yeah.
trade-off between that, because it it
Yeah.
it's n- it like you get your life back and there's some joy to that, but
Yeah.
then it's at the
The guilt of being
because this
joyful.
person has got right, the guilt of being relieved, the guilt of being joyful, the guilt
Yeah.
of being able to take ownership of your own life again because
Yeah.
that person has passed. I guess that's
100%.
kind of what I'm like,
No,
yeah,
you
getting
hit
at.
it on the head. I mean,
Yeah.
it's taken a lot of unpacking and I'm not there yet. I
Mm.
still feel
Yeah.
there are times I'm driving around and I'm super happy and I'm doing things and I think, do I deserve this? Is
Wow.
this okay? Like, is
Yeah.
it okay for me to feel excited to travel? Is it okay for me to feel excited to stay out late and not want to look at my watch? Is it okay for me not to think about her while I'm doing
Right.
something? Like, is that disrespectful? Um, and I think that is probably more common than people want to admit. I am
Oh,
definitely
100%.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
definitely
think
one of
a
those
lot
people
of
that
people
is
feel that way.
a soul searcher. So I do things also to offset it. So I know this is going to sound silly. Maybe this will help people out there. So part of the guilt of worrying about not thinking about my mom or not remembering her every day cuz I mean when my dad passed away, I thought about him every single day. A year later, not so much.
Yeah,
Now, I don't think about my dad every single day. It's been 27 years. I think about him often. And when certain things come up that remind me, but I don't
sure.
wake up every morning going, I miss my dad
Yeah,
in that way. So, to help me with the guilt as a reminder, so someone, when my mom passed, got me, I think you and I had talked about this before, but they're chimes. Did we talk about this or
mm,
was it somebody else? Could have
mhm.
been somebody else.
Yes. Yeah, we've
But there were
talked about them.
chimes. Yeah, the chimes. So they got me chimes.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're called. Grieving chimes, I'll call them. Morning chimes,
They're not just wind
memorial
chimes?
chimes. So I hung those chimes. I mean, my mom lived with me, so obviously somebody else could hang them somewhere else. But I hung the chimes outside my mom's window, which is close enough to the rest of the proximity of the house. And I love the sound of chimes anyway. So I'm super
Mhm.
happy that somebody gave them to me because I love chimes and I had wanted some. But every time those chimes go off, every time, I think of my mom for a minute and it just makes
Yeah.
my heart smile. And so
Mm.
that has been real healing for me
Yeah.
not to worry about how much I'm thinking about my mom. So it's almost like I'm um consciously making sure, at least during this healing process for me, that I hear that and it just brings me joy, which then enables me to maybe accept the other joys that are coming into my life
Yeah.
because I've already thought of my mom. I know it sounds weird, but I'm offsetting the guilt
Yeah.
because if not, this might build up and then I might be the person that just kind of like, is flattened one day or, you know, in the beginning I couldn't even be joyful in like we were going on trips or we were visiting people or having dinner with people that I really cared about and it was like no one was home. In my head,
Mm.
in my heart,
Yeah.
I could not
Yeah.
fully enjoy the moment because I didn't
Yeah.
realize at the time that that was guilt. Guilt for feeling joyful. I thought it was grief, but I wasn't even thinking about my mom.
Mm.
I just was not engaged. It was like I just didn't need
Yeah.
to be there. I didn't want to be there because there was no joy in it and I was taking all the joy away because there was this guilt like you're talking about. And actually didn't even realize that until we started talking today. Like now that I'm
Yeah.
unpacking this with you, I'm realizing,
Yeah.
wow, that is what happens. And
Yeah.
so those chimes have been awesome, but somebody else could do something else. I mean, maybe it's just something you place in your bedroom or a reminder or a photo or something. If somebody had a scarf or a favorite dish or something that when you walk by it, you remember it brings you joy. And then that joy can kind of like be like, okay, like I'm still remembering, I'm still being reverent, I'm still
Yeah.
grieving a little, but it's okay for me to go out and be happy.
Yeah. Did you find at all when you would go out when your mom was still alive but was bedridden and in your care that you dealt with some of that too? Just example, so when my dad was passing away and it's been um gosh, going on 9 years in November. My daughter Megan was going to school in um, Kona, Hawaii. My husband Brad and I went to take Megan to school, and at this point, Dad was in a nursing home, and he had just been, really
Remind me
declining.
how old your dad was.
77 when he passed away.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, So here, I'd never been to Hawaii before. We're taking Megan, she's my last child. We're taking Megan to go do this amazing thing, and dad is basically in nursing care dying. I'm waiting to get the call while we're on this trip.
Yeah.
And, and I don't even hardly remember that trip because it was
Mm,
so stressful and I felt so terrible about leaving, but I also had to be there for my daughter.
yeah.
And I
Yep.
knew that dad was in a safe place, surrounded by people that were caring for him. My sister was still here and checking on him all the time, and he was getting really good care. He was in a great place, and but for me to go and do that, that was a very difficult decision. Not only one, did I not want him to pass while I was on this trip, but two, I felt bad for going to this beautiful place and
Mhm.
getting to experience these things for the first time, not being back by his bed every second of the day,
Yeah.
and just so trying, then you have this extra layer of just trying to work through that part of it
Yeah.
too. And I think for so many of us there is a lot of guilt that comes with, like you were saying, should I should I be happy right now? Should
Yeah.
I be experiencing joy? Should I be sitting out on the lawn watching these hula dancers sipping a mai tai
Yeah.
while the sun's going down, while my dad is laying in a bed in the
Yeah.
nursing home,
Well,
and just really working through that and coming to terms with
yeah.
that.
I think your situation, interesting enough, I think a lot of listeners out there, um, have probably been in your shoes maybe more than my caregiving shoes. That 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 phone call, like, that happens over and over. Those decisions that we have to make, that you had to
Yeah.
make when you have a a possibly or a dying parent who's there and a child who needs you over here. You're sandwiched in
Yeah.
the middle, but those
Yeah.
decisions, do I stay or do I go? But I think what you had to experience, I don't even know if guilt is like a hard enough word. I
Right.
think, I mean,
Yeah, it
that
needs something more
it
profound.
needs, it does.
Guilt doesn't
Be,
sound
yeah,
it doesn't
it
carry
doesn't.
enough weight.
No, because you know what it is? It's confliction, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
I know conflicted is, but if confliction's not a word,
It's
it
a
should
word
be.
now.
It is a
Yep.
word now. And I think being that conflicted, there's guilt on both parts. People that have to
Right.
make that decision, if they're home taking care of the
Yep.
one that may not pass away right away, but is there in bed and you need those moments, either side is going to be neglected, and no matter what you do, the choice is not going to feel like the right choice.
Yeah, because then I would have felt terrible that here Megan is going to this incredible new experience at
Right.
this amazing time in her life, and I wasn't there to take
Mm.
her and be a part of that. So I
And
if
you
I
were
had made
there,
that choice to stay
but
behind
emotionally,
and be with dad.
how much there were you? I'm just curious now that this is all gone.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah. That's a
where did
really
you
good
find
question.
yourself in this?
I I feel like I was certainly at times, especially the times when I was with her. And we weren't with her every moment because she had things going on and orientations and things like that that were happening. And but the times that I was with her in body, I also really tried to be with her in spirit. So that
Mhm.
really was making a conscious decision of like, no, I'm here with Megan. She's experiencing this thing, and I want her to remember that I was there for her. Now,
Yeah.
Brad and I decided to stay because that whole time with dad being sick and having strokes and things like that was so difficult. while we were there, we decided to say, so we drop her off, decided to say a few days later. I don't remember how much longer. It was at least probably 3 days. When I wasn't with Megan, those were times where I was just my phone was in my hand. I'm checking my phone all the time. I'm snapping at Brad for no reason, just it was difficult to be there. I just wanted to be back already. And here we had made this decision to stay. So while I was with
Yeah.
Megan, I was with Megan. But when I wasn't with Megan, I just wanted to be home. I wanted to
Yeah.
be back with my dad. So
Yeah.
that's a good question. I think
Confliction. Love that.
conflicting, all the
Yeah.
conflicts were happening during that time. And I think that there's something where we have to be able to say it's okay. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to not feel
Yeah.
guilt over the fact that it's so cliche when someone passes away in a film and they're like, but mom would have just wanted you to be happy,
Yeah.
or so and so would have just wanted you to live your life and be happy. But you know what? As cliche as that is, it's also kind of true. And I know that my dad would have wanted me, knowing that that was my first time. He didn't quite know what was happening, so I didn't have like his blessing, but he would have wanted me to go and have a great time, knowing that
Yeah.
there was really nothing I could do by staying
Right.
except make
Right.
myself feel more grief,
Yeah.
and your mom, no, I mean, the way that your mom lived her life,
Yeah.
she wants you to go live your life. I have no doubt about that,
Totally.
you know?
Totally.
So there is that. Ooh, I'm getting a little choked up. There is
That's all
that
right.
in embracing, but this person would have wanted you to be happy and would have wanted you to go on and live your life, and not
Yeah.
that is, I think, that guilt in finding joy after the loss of a loved one or a parent, um, is societal, and it is something that we put on ourselves and something that we have
Truth.
to get rid of.
Truth. And so as we kind of wrap up a little, because we could keep talking and
Mhm.
talking and talking, but
Yep.
um, that's a really great tidbit to take away. And just realizing that society
Mhm.
pours so much into us that we start to forget to listen to ourselves. And so
Mm.
I think the
Yeah.
takeaway for me, and I'm not done maneuvering through this. So we can circle back in a
Absolutely
year,
not.
have
I'm not
another
done, and
podcast,
it's
and
been
yeah,
9 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I will be somewhere else. But knowing that I have the authority to feel joy, that
Mhm.
I can give
Mhm.
myself that authority and say, it's
Mm.
okay for me to enjoy every single second from this day
Yeah.
forward without disrespecting the memory of my mom or
Yeah.
dad is something that
Yep.
I think we all need to give ourselves. It's not disrespectful. Like when people asked me how I was doing after my mom passed, I kind of said, actually, I'm doing good. I mean, really, I was. I wasn't on the floor. I wasn't able to not get out of bed. I mean, the first day or two, I was so busy planning stuff. And then it's like the wedding,
Mhm.
when it's all done and the funeral's
Yeah.
over and everything, you kind of
That's when
sit
it hits.
back. But I
Yeah.
didn't crawl into a bed and I didn't, though my circumstances were different. I had a mom that was much older. I totally understand that there are people out there who are losing parents way too early and they're younger. And so for that, there's a whole nother pattern of healing. So we're specifically
Absolutely.
talking about being
Absolutely.
in a
Yeah.
in a space where you're older and you've got possibly
Yeah.
way older or grown children. I'm not
And everyone
even
does
wanting
grieve
to touch on
differently.
the whole
Yeah.
grieving thing
Yeah.
when you're younger and you lose a parent. But at our
Yeah.
place in life, at our stage in life, I am starting to feel like it was okay for me to say, "I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
really good." Like, I'm okay that she's gone. I'm
Yeah.
okay. And
Yep.
and I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't bring her back and have her live another 3, 4 more years. I wouldn't do it. Um,
Yeah.
in my case, in an aging parent. Um, but I think moving forward, the takeaway for me here is just giving myself the authority to say, I can be joyful all day long and it's okay. And
Yeah.
I can have fun and I can go a day or two without even thinking about her. It's hard for me not to because she lived in our house. So, you know,
Right.
this house has, I mean, you walk by her room and there's no way that I cannot not. But
Yeah.
thinking of it differently as I process and like for you, what would be the takeaway now of like looking back and healing from that guilt or confliction? Or maybe you're not there yet. I mean, maybe it's okay to it's safe and reasonable to say I will never really feel like I made the right decision. Like I did make the right decision for my daughter, but did I for my dad? And that's okay too. There's a
No,
space
I I
for
I definitely feel like I made the right decision because of the fact that, I mean, fortunately for my sake, he did not pass away while I was gone. By the time I got back, we had about a month left with
okay.
him before he passed away. So I am grateful that that did not happen while I was gone. Um, and certainly there has been so much that I have been able to process, um, in the last
And you still
almost
have
9
your
years.
mom.
It'll be 9
You still
years
have
in
your mom.
November, and I do still have my mom.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I certainly don't carry that circumstantial confliction with me
Hmm.
now. Um, I love how we've used that word so many times now. We'll have to look it up. Confliction.
I love that. I seriously, I
Such
want
a great
credit in
it
the
probably is a word,
Webster.
and we're being silly about it,
Yeah.
um, but it just works. So I certainly don't carry that weight with me now, and I do know that I made the decision, but I think a lot of those things and circumstances have to be looked at in hindsight, and
Yeah.
and and once you've had a chance to, because, like, for me, I the the situation of dad passing away was so quick and so stressful and emotional. After he passed away, I wasn't okay. I wasn't able to say I'm okay. I stayed
Right.
in my house and I binge watched How I Met Your Mother, like, back to back,
Yeah.
just episode after episode, because I needed to escape. I needed to get
Hmm.
away. It just, that whole year leading up to his passing was just so not great. So, definitely having time to process, knowing that those moments there, that and I think knowing that he was in a safe place while I was
Yeah.
gone, and he was getting better care there. I mean,
Well, I
yeah,
think I think this has helped me a lot today, which I didn't expect that to. I was just we were just gonna
right?
just
This
talk
was
about
like group
but this was like a little
therapy.
therapy session, yeah.
Mhm.
And for those of
Mhm.
you out there, who are going through this, I mean, maybe you can relate to some of what we've talked about. Maybe you've got some other ways to cope with this that have been amazing.
Mhm.
We'd love to hear about them. Um, you can shoot us a DM or comment on Instagram under this or something so that we can hear how y'all doing. Um, but we just want to thank you for being in the room with us and letting us be super transparent and super real today with you guys
Yep.
as we unpack things every single time that we do one of these podcasts. We find out a little bit more about ourselves, which is crazy and fun. And I love that. But hopefully, we are touching something out there for you all as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right, my friend. Well, I love
yep,
you, and
I love you
hey,
too.
let's get in the room together again soon.
I would love to. I'll
I
see you
love being
soon.
in the room with you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.